Okay. Good afternoon. Let me say that again. Good afternoon to everyone. I understand that we have an audience online, and I would also like to acknowledge them and just to share with all of you my pleasure given this opportunity to again join with you this afternoon. I should acknowledge that I am accompanied this afternoon by the honorable member of our Board of Supervisors. I speak of Ms. Ann Smith, who want to join with me on this very historic occasion for the Ag Research Extension Center and College of Agriculture. If you will, please join me in acknowledging our member. As many of you are aware, Ms. Smith chairs the Academic Affairs Committee of the Board of Supervisors. But I should also say to you that she has and continues to bring outstanding leadership in advancing the agenda of the Southern University system, and wanted to join me today just to extend her utmost support as we again identify and acknowledge the new leader for the Ag Center and College. Today does not come to any surprise to anybody here. Several of you actually were instrumental in serving on a search committee that actually began last fall. And as you may recall, last fall, we went about the task of trying to shape a committee to whom I charged with trying to identify the top 3 candidates who would ultimately serve as the chancellor of the Agriculture Research and Extension Center. As we endeavored, and as the committee endeavored to engage in the diligence necessary to identify that ultimate selection, we postponed the selection, or we postponed the search. Particularly in light of the feedback that we got from many of you, from alums and from stakeholders across the nation who said that we should endeavor to really think about the model that was, and the model that was really driving this enterprise for the last, I want to say, 20-something years. And what they suggested to us was that there is merit in considering a model that indeed shaped the occurrence where one individual can advance the interests of ag research, extension, and teaching, and that we rightfully then should give consideration to merging all of those units together. And after considerable deliberation, our Board of Supervisors saw it fit to respond to such a recommendation that provided for us to maintain the autonomous unit we know as the Agriculture Research and Extension Center, but however, allowed its leader to also assume responsibility and exercise leadership as related to the College of Agriculture. And so we reinitiated the search under the guidelines of trying to identify the best fit for that model and in keeping with that configuration. The committee again was charged with that responsibility. And I have to tell you, that I was just so impressed with their diligence and their dedication, to that charge. And we have members of that search committee who are here with us today. And I would ask if you please stand to be recognized, because I think you actually deserve a round of applause. Thank you so much. And of course, it was chaired by a former administrator, Professor Dr. Kirk Milland, and co-chaired by Vice Chancellor Gina Eubanks. So again, my appreciation to all of you for having invested in that process. The outcome of their work provided for us to consider 3 candidates. And I tell you, I'm somewhat aloft until we get to the point where we are approaching the time of interviews, and I literally find time to sit down and begin to read individual portfolios. And I was just tremendously impressed with the caliber of the individuals to whom we would consider, their experiences, the degree to which all of them really had shaped careers that brought to them national recognition, and really spoke to how they have individually, contributed to the land grant mission. And so I shared with the committee that I just thought that the task before us would be very difficult in the selection of, again, that ideal fit. And so on a couple of weeks ago, it seems like it's just on yesterday, but at our most recent board meeting, it was really a pleasure for me to provide to the board 3 candidates to whom I thought, would really serve in an outstanding way of advancing the interests of this enterprise. And it was through that meeting that we recommended a son of Southern University, and I speak of your chancellor, Dr. Bobby Fields. Now, I could tell you that through this process, and I knew of Dr. Fields for many years prior to me having the occasion to meet with him. As a result of the process, I think we met maybe 2 or 3 times prior to his selection. And I shared with him my admiration in light of his career, a very distinguished career, as I've come to know. And in light of his appointment to this role, we had the occasion of meeting again, where I said to him that he has my utmost respect, that he will enjoy my utmost support, and that indeed I was one to believe that this Extension Center and the College of Agriculture will join together in embracing his leadership as he indeed served the Extension Center and the College of Agriculture. Why? Because we have to get behind our leaders. I said ever so recently, quite frankly, that the that the climate to which we work within require all of us to work together. It requires all of us to speak with one voice. It requires all of us to be deliberately focused on our role, scope, and mission. And the degree to which we're able to do that is ever so important today as opposed to yesterday, and will be even more required tomorrow. And so, look, during this process, it enabled me, quite frankly, to again get to know a little bit more about the opportunities and challenges of the Agriculture Research Extension and College of Agriculture. In speaking with Dr. Fields, he has already challenged me to work hand in hand with him. One of the things that he spoke more adamantly about is the degree to which we need to generate revenue for joint appointments. He spoke and asked of me to identify matches for grants that he hoped to bring to bear such that we could enjoy the flexibility of attracting more faculty to joint appointments. And I'm going to do that. I have not, he has asked me to give him a dollar amount. I have not committed to that dollar amount yet, but we're going to do something in light of that. But today, again, I think it's just a historic time for the university, a time when we saw the quasi-merger of the Extension Center and the College of Agriculture. Now a time where I have the great privilege of introducing an outstanding leader, one who has distinguished themselves among land-grant institutions, and one who now will serve as the first chancellor within the Southern University system, who would bring leadership of this collective enterprise. Join me in acknowledging your chancellor, your dean, and my friend and colleague, Dr. Bobby Fields. Thank you, sir.
Good evening. Good evening. I would just like to say it's an honor to be here to share this moment with the Ag campus, with our administration, and with the new leader. I could not have, in good taste, missed this opportunity because I care about Southern and I care about the growth of our total system, and this Ag campus means a lot to me. And I told Dr. Belton that, so in talking, I must say I was a former administrator and I lost one of my students. He's only 32 years old, and I was at the funeral and he called and said that you all were going to be meeting to officially meet your new leader, and I said I'll be there. So it was very difficult, but I drove fast and almost got a ticket, but I survived it. I would just like to say to you, you're here. You have brought the Ag program to this level, whatever level you may see or you may be at this time. You did that because you are here, you bought into it, and you have made yourself a part of that. So now it is time that we join forces. Regardless to how we feel, it's time for us all to get on one accord, join forces, and bring the Southern University system this is the flagship campus, bring it to yet a higher level. And I'm here, and I'm very proud to be here to support our new leader, Dr. Field. Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon. I said earlier, I feel like the prodigal son coming home. And when I met with Dr. Belton Friday, I think it was last Friday, we discussed, among the things we discussed, he wanted to know when I wanted to start work. You know, I started last Friday. You know, I didn't know I was supposed to wait and go on vacation and do all these other things that didn't come to work. We got work to do, a lot of work to do. I've served under probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 presidents since I started my professional career. And up until coming back here, Dr. Frederick Humphreys at Florida A&M University was a person that I thought, among all the presidents, he was the one that knew and understood what land grant was about. Dr. Belton has added a new ranking. The things that he and I have discussed and the things that I've heard him talk about to you all and to the board, others, says unequivocally that he understands the meaning of land grant. Let's give him a hand for that, please. We, in the coming, hopefully months, not even years, will let this university first know, well, we're gonna start first with us. We're going to understand what A&M stands for and what it means. Then we're gonna go to the university campus and we're gonna educate them. I've already said, Mr. President, that we want to, if necessary, purchase the centerfold of the student newspaper, the whole fold, and it'll be about land grant, understanding land grant, and the role that this university play in, not just the Ag Center and the College of Ag, but we want the entire university to understand what land grant means and the role that they could and should play. You know, the A&M gotta mean something. We are the glue and cement that holds this university together. We are state and federally mandated to have a statewide mission. And without this campus, then Southern University would be similar to all the other schools in the what's the Louisiana board with other colleges other than LSU. Yeah. You know, I mean, that's the way we would be. And even though we, from what I'm told, even though we are broke, that's an understatement when it comes to them, most of them, certainly grandma. So we got a lot of work to do. I need your help. You need my help. We need each other's help. And so I need you all to commit to working with me, working with each other in a truly joint-appointed perspective. Whether you're joint-appointed or not, you have a link with your fellow man, fellow woman. You know, someone say, I've seen a commercial, I think it was, where they say, look to one side and look to the other side, and understand who's on either side, because that's part of your team. I say the same thing to you all. Look around you. Dr. Belton talked about joint appointments. I won't tell you how many hundreds of thousands of dollars I asked him for. I assure you it was more than one, and it was more than two. Now, I realize, as he do, that to ask for money, to talk about money, to even say you're going to give money is not that easy. This campus is broke in many ways. You know, sometimes I get confused about this campus being our campus, separate from the other 4 campuses, but all of them are broke. Okay? All of them are broke. Now, one of the things that I have prided myself in is establishing linkages. And ironically, Dr. Belton, I've had people to call me. They heard about my appointment from Washington, saying, "Welcome back, and we're looking forward to working with you." I'm putting together a plan of action to go to Washington. Now, I don't go to Washington just asking for money. That's not the way to do it. I go to Washington to ask, how can I help you? Remember that. How can I help you? And that means, in short, that they have a need. And we are going to review their mission, review their annual reports, and come up with some things that we know how we can help them before we even get there. So if they need our help, next thing I say, well, it's going to cost you. It's going to cost you. We need students. One agency already said, and he called a friend of mine. He says, we having a problem getting students to come from Southern because they don't have the prerequisite that we need. And he want to come down and talk to you. Of course, we can help him. And I made a commitment to help him, even though in the area that he was talking about, planning soil sciences, we have 0 faculty members. But we plan to help him. We're going to help him from the president and the board, but we're going to start out by helping them from you. Everybody here should have a person that they can shadow. Team building. Everybody here should have a counterpart that if they walk out here and get hit by a Big Mac truck, the organization doesn't stop. We gotta have alternates, and that's why joint appointments are going to come. I don't know how many of you all qualify for joint appointments. If you don't qualify in teaching, then you're not going to teach, regardless of what the need is. We're here to educate students, not just give them degrees. You know, this particular agency, you know, they could hire students, but they don't want to just hire students because they're black or whatever color they are. They want to hire them because of the knowledge that they have gained here at this university and that they can serve in the needs that we have. And that's why it's so important to have joint appointments. We have plant soil science faculty in the center. We have animal science faculty in the center. We have econ faculty, agribusiness faculty in the center, and so on and so forth, family and consumer sciences. By the way, Mr. President, I'm gonna need your approval because I want to expand the name of the college. With you all's blessing. I was here before and we fought each other initially. And then we came together on Family and Consumer Sciences as being an integral part of the college. And, you know, I know you and I have talked about it and some others have talked about it. We need to have a long, big name that doesn't say much. Now, personally, I feel that agriculture encompasses all of it. But you can look on the other hand and say Family and Consumer Sciences encompasses all of it. Because it is about eating, it is about clothing, it is about so many other things that encompasses the family. But putting it together is part of putting cement and the glue together. We are one, we will speak as one, and we will act as one. You all say y'all want to work together, I'm gonna give you that opportunity. And so I want you all to start thinking about who would be your sidekick. Okay? Start thinking about it. Some people ask, what's my management style? And I'm gonna let you go in a minute because, you know, I can get long-winded, Mr. President. But somebody asks, what's my management style? I say, I employ the 49-51 rule. How many of y'all know what that rule is? That's what, tell them what that rule is. Tell them what the rule is.
But it means that 51% of the capacity has a decision making 49 and that person 51% doesn't mean that person they shifted to 49.
You see, when it comes to this campus, I have 51% of the say-so in this campus. Now, if I don't do my job, and by the way, the president have 49%, as long as I'm doing my job. But if I'm not doing my job, his 49 changes to 51, and my 51 changes to 49. You understand? So that's the way we operate. At every level of management, you have 51% of the decision at your level and below. And so don't have me doing your job. Because if I got to do your job, I don't need you. Okay? But we could operate and operate proficiently in that manner. What else I want to mention? Oh, everybody been running to me talking about they need this and they need that. I told a person this morning, I'm an opportunity provider. You know, to the extent that I can provide you an opportunity to do your job better, whatever it is, whatever you've been assigned to do, not necessarily what you want to do, but what your assignment and responsibility say. I'm gonna help you do that job. So if you need a computer and you haven't been able to get one, I'm gonna get you that computer. I may not get it to you today or tomorrow, but you're going to get a computer. Now, after I get you that computer, if I found out that that computer was not the problem, then the excuse eliminator takes effect. So I'm an opportunity provider, but I'm an excuse eliminator. And if I got to eliminate the excuse, and the excuse wasn't the computer, who you think will be eliminated? Okay? Understand that. We're gonna work as a team? Are we gonna work as a team? Yes. Starting when? How about yesterday? How about yesterday? Okay. Now it is hot in here. Mr. Mahone, he's telling me talking in the mic here. I'm being recorded. Mr. Mahone is working on the building, getting it air conditioned. We got some problems there, but we're gonna work it out. Oh, and by the way, too, for the board member and the president, I've reshuffled our facility funds, and the family, what's it called, the building we went to? Child Development Center is priority one. And we've identified where the funds will come from. And to the extent that the university and the Louisiana, whoever can work with us, it can come online as early as January 1 or January 2, since y'all gonna be off on January 1. Okay? So we needed, I toured it a few minutes ago. It's too fantastic a building to be sitting there idle. Okay? So we're gonna get that. This is not my meeting. This is the president's meeting. His meeting has ended. Now the faculty senate is having a reception and I'm the honoree. And so where's Ms. Million? Dr. Million? Come on up here, you're in charge. We will have a meeting similar to this. And I see the microphone out here. And so I don't know if you want them to ask some questions and answer. Now, before I bring Ms. Dawn Million up here, I want to do something that I should have done last Friday. And that's introduce my wife. Miss Gilda Fields, please stand and be recognized. Many of you already knew her, and those that don't, I'm sure you will get to know her. She believes in student development and student services. And I told her, I'm not gonna pay her, but she's working for me. And hopefully she will be assisting us in many different ways. Because students is our priority. They are our future. And one last thing before I end. We talked about assignment responsibility. Everybody that's in this room, plus those that should be in here, will have 5% of their responsibility dedicated to student recruitment. Okay? Now, traditionally, teaching and research and extension has been a natural for you. But this college is dying. Some people say it's almost dead. We got to have students. I can't go to the president or to the provost and argue about student-generated credit hours if we're not generating any. I can't demand that we have set aside monies for graduate students in Title III if we're not graduating students. And so just keep in mind that everybody in here got to recruit 5 students per year. Two of those students, 2.5 of those students will be replacement students. That means we'll be growing by 2.5% students per person per year. I promised to triple enrollment. The president heard me, and he's gonna fire me if I don't. So if you want to get rid of me, don't recruit. Now, but before he strike his pen, I have my pen. Okay, so keep that in mind. Dr. Million, you have the floor, and you can entertain questions, and I'll be glad to respond to them.
We have some punching cake in the back. We're gonna do just a little meet and greet so you have an opportunity to interact with our new Chancellor Dean on a one-on-one basis for a couple of seconds. Notice I said for a couple of seconds. I've been his timekeeper all day as we've started the tours of all of the facilities. We're gonna finish tomorrow with the Southwest Center and the Horticulture Farm and PPE Thrift Building and Urban Forestry. And then he has other meetings set up for Friday. But are there any questions? This is the first opportunity that we've had to really, for those of us who don't know him, this is the first opportunity that we've had to interact with him and to meet him. So are there any questions? Are there any questions at all? Would you please come to the mic? And don't be shy.
I will not be
State
shy.
your name, your unit, you know.
My name is Yamanet Gebreyesus. I'm a soil scientist. And before I present my question, I want to ask in here how many of the audience either took classes in Southern University or graduated from Southern University? How many? Raise your hand. I just want to emphasize the importance of teaching. And I think, like he said, the college is dying. Yeah, I teach 4 or 5 courses, and I have the responsibility of doing research too. What are you going to do to address this problem?
My wife must have made this punch. Pure sugar. I mentioned already joint appointments. You know, every eligible person, I put it that way because all of you may not be faculty now, but you have the ability to teach. And if you have qualification, we want to get you on the teaching role. But beyond that, we got to replace faculty. I'm looking at part of our joint appointments, for example, will be pulled from chemistry and biology, hopefully. I haven't talked to them yet, but I think we can get some of those faculty. But I'll be beating the bushes to identify other resources external to the university to hire faculty. I've talked with at least one university person, not university, one USDA person about allowing their faculty to work for Southern, not to work for Southern per se, but to be placed at Southern so that they can team teach courses. And to a certain extent, they will allow that. And so we're gonna be looking at those. The bottom line is we gotta fill the gaps because we got to offer a quality education across all levels. You know, we talk about accreditation, and no, that's mandatory. But so is having the prerequisites to be employed by USDA. It's not a accredited program per se, but it is an area that they will employ in if you have the prerequisite courses. So what does that mean? That means that we're going to review all the curricula. And we're going to go in deeper than that. We're going to look at all the syllabus. And we're going to share syllabus among each other so that the bottom know what the top is teaching, the top know what the bottom is teaching. So you can start developing that now. You can start also developing your resume because I'll be calling for that next week. because I want to see what qualifications you have and where you might best fit in the team. Okay? Does that answer your question, sir?
Are there any other questions?
Hearing none,
Is that fast?
that fast.
Okay, well, if
We're
no-
moving.
If no one else has a question, I'll ask the question. And I think I'm unique in this setting. Dr. Fields was the dean. Everybody can hear me, right? Oh, okay, excuse me, I apologize. Dawn Melion, Patan, Agricultural Specialist, Cooperative Extension Program, and President of the Faculty and Staff Senate. I think I'm unique in this setting because I was a student who graduated under Dr. Fields, and he hired me straight out of graduate school. When I went to Iowa State in the 1900s, the first thing I was asked when I got there, and I had an administrative assistantship. Graduate students usually have teaching assistantships or research assistantships. I had an administrative assistantship, and my role was to start a bayou. At Iowa State, they had heard about bayou, so they gave me all of this money to start a bayou at Iowa State. So I want to know, since you have assumed responsibilities for the college, how does, do you plan on bringing back all of the old phases that we used to have of Bayou, and what's your vision for making Bayou? And I think when you left, we may have had 12 phases?
7.
7 phases. Okay, so how are we going to increase that to 12, especially since you said that you plan to, we are going to triple the enrollment in a very short time?
I don't know about 12. I'm not opposed to 12. There will be an 8th one called faculty development, or something along that line. Faculty staff development, if you will. You know, I talked about during my interview short-term leaves. How many of you all have had sabbatical leaves? Anybody here has sabbatical leave? Why not? How many of you been here more than 10 years? Okay. 7 years is a sabbatical. So if you've been here 10 years, something wrong with that picture. You need to be retooled, right? You know, I bought a phone a year and a half ago. It stopped working because they say I had an upgrade. I needed an upgrade. So we would do those kinds of things for you. Thank you, madam. Water is the best thing that anybody could have. You don't think I'm kidding? Try living without it. But I want you all to consider short-term leaves, not sabbatical leave. We don't have time to wait for 7 years. But if you need to go somewhere and be trained for a week, a month, or a year, you know, and could identify the resources for those, and I'll help you to the extent that I can, we'll make it happen. Okay? So you got to know what you're talking about. You know, we're going to have a contest among students to develop an app, a land grant app that can be on the president's phone, or board member's phone, on John Q. across the world phone, but marketing our programs. And luckily we'll have, while we have one winner, we might have 20 apps developed. We'll own all of them. That's going to be part of the agreement. We're going to own all of them. But they're going to help us get the words out. Who are we going to hire for those? None of you. Because most of you would not be at the level of the people that's going to be coming in. So we're going to get some young people. We're going to get some students to do it. We don't work with them, but we're going to get some students to do it. Okay? So the Alsace Bayou is alive. It may not be well. It's sick now. We got one phase. Miss Johnson has done an outstanding job with it, but that's just one phase. The one you was talking about that our state stole from us was university linkage. You know, we're gonna reestablish university linkage, and they're gonna pay for it. Universities will pay for our students to come there in the summer with an intent on giving them a graduate assistantship. And that's what you got. Okay? Other questions? It's hot. I know y'all tired of me talking. I'm tired of talking. Again, I will apologize for the building. I would like to say next month, when the president come back, this building will be cool. Okay? I would love to say tomorrow. Would love to say tomorrow. But one of the things we got to be is realistic with each other, and realistic in our views about everything. You remember the opportunity provider? You know, the president can call over there and say, well, I want the air conditioning turned on tomorrow. And they still may not happen because it may be out of his control. So as soon as possible, it's going to happen. Okay? We're working on it diligently. Yes, ma'am.
I want to make sure I understand, and probably President Belton and you can answer. The air is also out in Fisher Hall. We were just there, and this is cool compared to Fisher Hall.
Try going upstairs though.
With the college, do we also now contact Mr. Mahomes about our heating problem? Do we also contact Chris Rogers with the things that we need about technology? I need to understand, who do we contact? Because the college is linked with the Ag Center, but supposedly it's on the SUBR. So who do we contact really about the various things? I need to be clear on that.
Pretend we in the western, eastern most part of this state. Who would we call? If we're in the east, in other words, we're not on this main campus. Who would we call? Who does New Orleans call? Who does Tulsa call? Okay. The people you named are the people we call. Okay. We're going to work through what's the Baton Rouge campus and what's this campus. There'll be growing pains on both sides. But I've instructed Mr. Mahone, I've instructed Chris to start handling the college as if it's in the center and vice versa. So that's where you start. And Chris will be calling you pretty soon now that he knows your needs, right? Mr. Mahone will be calling you soon. And if they need to go to the campus for relief or whatever, they have the authority to do that. But we're going to operate as one. Okay? The president has the lead.
No, I was just gonna
Go ahead.
maybe respond to your question a little bit more specifically with regard to our infrastructure. With regard to our infrastructure on the Baton Rouge landmass, and as you know, all of the campus has been challenged with facilities over the years. The good news is that we were fortunate this year in being able to appeal to the legislature, but more importantly, they have responded to our appeal, and they have provided to Southern University a direct appropriation of $3 million specifically for deferred maintenance. And so those monies will be made available to us next month and all of our priorities have to do with roofing and air conditioning on the Baton Rouge landmass. And so we're going to finally get some relief in that regard. So we have been here, and Dr. Fields made mention of several things being broke. Yeah, we definitely need to fix this air conditioning piece here. And hopefully we'll do that soon. But again, join me in acknowledging your new chancellor and dean. I'm continually impressed with Dr. Fields. It is true that without A&M, there is no Southern University. The things that struck me last year even was the fact that that our land grant agenda was not readily apparent when you looked at this institution, and that's something that we need to reframe. Everything about this institution should feel as if we're advancing the land grant mission. And of course, I'm ever so confident that he's going to exercise the appropriate leadership to take us there. But also am aware that, these facilities, Southern University, is nothing but brick and mortar. That for us to be able to realize our aspirations, our goals, to advance our interests, it takes people. And so again, I want to invite you to be a part of the change to which we're trying to shape here at the Ag Center, in the college, and indeed across the Southern University system. Thank you again for joining with us this afternoon. We hope to continue to be engaged with you. And let me just, again, on behalf of Ms. Ann Smith, members of the board, and indeed all of the colleagues that represent the Southern University system, let me again just bring greetings to you and say to you how much we appreciate your commitment and your dedication to Southern University. Look forward to the next time, okay? All right. Thanks, Doc.
Thank you, sir.
All right, bro.
President Belton,
Yes.
Dr. Merrick, Ms. Smith, would you all join us for some cake and punch, please?
Yes.
And we have cake squares, but if you look on the cake squares, it's the Southern University Ag Center logo. And I'm sure we'll be revisiting that
Right.
very soon with the College of Ag attached. But that's what we had for now, so. Would you all please join us for some cake and punch?